So today I have the lying dumbbell chest fly. So for this exercise, you're gonna need dumbbells, and you can either do this exercise on a bench or on the ground. It's probably more ideal to have a bench just because you can get a greater range of motion and you're kind of restricted with the ground. But to start this exercise, I'm gonna show you guys, so we're gonna pretend that I'm laying down on the ground. So this is what the motion is gonna look like from the front. So dumbbells are above my head right now. And that's all the motion is. And I'm gonna turn, just so you have an idea of kind of the depth. And everybody's gonna be different with their flexibility and the optimum motion, but that's just the movement itself. And the key to prevent injury is, for this exercise, you're not gonna wanna have your arms locked straight out, because that's gonna be bad for your shoulder, but you don't want them too bent inward, because that's not gonna work your chest very much. So the key is just to have a little bit of flex in your lower bicep and in your elbow, just to protect your shoulder, but also get emphasize the chest more. So yeah, so I'm gonna demonstrate on the ground now. This is what it's actually gonna look like. So you're going to have you're gonna be flat on the floor, feet on the ground, your upper back retracted back, big chest, core is still tight like always. You're going to extend the dumbbells straight overhead. Have a good, nice flex in your lower bicep and elbows. And we're going to make a half circle with the dumbbells. And obviously the range of motion with the carpet is kind of tough. So like I said earlier, a bench is probably more ideal, but it's just this motion the entire time. So the downward motion, that right there, that's the eccentric movement, the abduction, and you're going to be inhaling during that movement. And as we bring them back up, that's the adduction, that's the concentric motion, and you're going to be exhaling during that portion. So what this is going to look like one more time: chest big, upper back retracted, good flex in the elbows and biceps. Just let the dumbbells go down. Once you hit your optimum motion, come back up to the top point of the optimum motion. And for the optimum motion, so for obvious reasons, I'm gonna have the client find it for themselves. And what that's gonna consist of is just, as they're lying on the bench or on the ground, they're gonna have a couple fingers on their pectoral muscle, and they're gonna start from the bottom portion. And once they feel the initial constriction of the pectoral, that'll be the bottom point of the exercise. Once they get towards the top, once it stops, the constriction, that'll be the top point of the movement. That's about it for the exercise itself. As a trainer, depending on whether we're on a bench or on the ground, I'll probably be kneeling behind the client. It's kind of awkward without a mirror, because you can't really keep that good of eye contact, and you don't want to be creepy staring above the client. So I'll kind of be leaning back, and as they're doing the motion, I'll have my hands below their elbows, just in case they start to struggle or they can't finish the exercise. And it's just a good safety precaution to help lift their elbows up, especially since this exercise can be kind of tough on the shoulders. But that's about it for the lying dumbbell chest fly. Next, I'm gonna demonstrate push-ups. So for this exercise, you don't need anything, and it's a pretty basic exercise, since everybody pretty much knows a push-up. All you're gonna do is lie flat on the ground with your palms flat, and your hands are gonna be directly below your shoulders. So I'll turn to the side for this. Your hands are gonna be directly under your shoulders. Your toes are gonna be the only portion of your foot that's on the ground. And you're gonna have your upper back retracted, big chest, and all you're simply gonna do is just push yourself up and lower yourself down. And I recommend that when you're doing these, to find like a point in front of you, slightly in front of you and below you, to look at the entire time, because that keeps everything in line. But yeah, the biggest thing is for the push-up, you're gonna wanna keep your body as flat as possible, and you wanna keep everything, your core and your back, super tight, because otherwise you're gonna be using other muscles that you don't want, and it's just probably the motion that works best to work your entire body consistently. So flat as can be, all your muscles contracted, lowering down and pushing up. keep your elbows tight too, just so you're not working your shoulders too much. As a trainer for that exercise, I'll be on either side of the client and probably be kneeling. And prior to, I'll ask them if I can touch their hip area, just for spotting purposes. It's kind of tricky to spot a push-up, but I would say the best probably thing to do would be to reach around the client and lift up by their hips if they're okay with that. If not, I'd say you probably don't necessarily need a spot for push-ups, just because if they do fail, it's just falling to the floor, which isn't that big of a deal. Or if push-ups are too difficult, they can just get on their knees and do kneeling push-ups. So instead of their feet being on the floor, their knees and feet, and it's the same exact movement as before. And then to find the optimum motion for this exercise is really tricky too, since we're still talking about the chest area, and with the push-ups kind of weird. So what I like to do is go to a wall and have the client touch their pectoral muscle and just do the same motion as a push-up, and they can feel the muscle flexing and releasing. So I'll have them do that and they'll feel for themselves what their optimum motion is. But other than that, pretty basic exercise, and yeah, that's about it.